Hey everybody, it's Mike Young, and this is the first edition of the Inner Freedom Project. The idea with this is that I'm learning how to set myself free from the inside, and I want to see what happens with my life. I want to see what happens when I let myself out into the world without control and without contriving what I'm going to do. And so just experimenting. Kind of know what it feels like a little bit now to be free on the inside, to let my body go, open that cage that's been holding me in. I think we're all held in by some sort of cage. Sounds, kind of canned, I guess, but it's very true. There's like this distinct feeling I've got when I tune into my body, like I'm either held in or totally contracted or opening or wide open, and I want to live my life more open. My life is a mess. My life looks a little bit like my house does. Total mess. It's been a lot of struggles in my life over the years, and it's time for a change for me. And so part of that is putting this up on the internet so anybody can see it, anybody can see me. Whatever state I'm in, sometimes I feel incredibly free, and sometimes I feel totally constricted and contracted. And my theory is that if I put myself out there and let it hang out, that things are going to change for me. And so if anybody watches along, I'll post these things up at least once a week, and I'll tell you how it's going. I'll tell you how I'm feeling, and you watch if you want to. I would love to live my life from more freedom from the inside. I've been working on myself for like 10 years, maybe even 15 years, ever since I realized that I wasn't very happy when I was in my 20s. And just recently I started to understand what it actually feels like to have some freedom and to live from freedom and giving my gifts freely to the world, because I've always been really capable and never been able to deliver on what I'm capable of in a sustained way, at least not at a high level. And so people have been surprised all my life that I haven't succeeded more than I have. I've got these two great kids, and my daughter, Brighton, who's 5, I was at her dance class, little ballet recital, not a recital, just a class, and she was doing fine, doing all the instructive things fine, and then the teacher said, okay, now everybody just do open free dance, and she gave them a few minutes to do open free dance, and most of the kids were dancing around, and my daughter just stopped. She didn't know what to do, and it made me really sad. And I figure if I want to help her be free, the best way to do it is to model it and be more free myself, and really open that up and show her that it's okay to be free. I think it's the best way to teach my children. So the funny thing is, right now I'm not really feeling it. I want to feel more like I'm coming from the inside out, and I know what it feels like. So here goes. I'm going to see if I can get myself into that mode, because that's what I want to live from. That's what I want to be. And so I can feel it more now. I don't know if you can feel any changes, but I tend to just like ramble when I get there. But man, it feels good. It's like I'm opening out to the world, and it's like, here I am. Take it or leave it. It's vulnerable. It's slightly scary. It's a lot more exciting. It's open. I feel like my eye open up and the world opens up to me. And if I can live from here, I want to see what happens. Let's see what happens in my life. Let's see what happens in my finances. My finances are a mess. We just sold a house for $70,000 loss. Got over $45,000 in credit card debt. I got, between my wife and I, we have over $100,000 in student loans. We spent our kids' savings that had been given to us by grandparents. I'm a chiropractor, and by the way, was considered one of the best chiropractic adjusters in my class and maybe in my school. And people came to me to learn how to adjust, yet I haven't been able to deliver it out of my practice consistently. And so it's been either a big struggle interspersed with periods of growth and ease, but by and large, it's been a bit of a struggle. And so it exemplifies what my life has been about. It's been this struggle to deliver my real self and my capability, my capacity. And so yeah, we're barely making enough to survive. I owe money to the IRS. I owe money to the state of Oregon income tax department. All this other debt I told you about. My wife is often pissed off at me because I'm not giving my full self, which is normal for a woman to be pissed if her husband's not really showing up with everything he's got. And so, in a way, things are a mess. It's not like my life is horrible. I'm in good shape. My health is great. I have some love in my life. I've healed up some relationships with my mom and my dad, who died. I don't have a lot of close friends nearby. My only really, really close friend lives in Spain, so I don't even hardly see him at all. My relationship with my wife is occasionally great and often strained. So as you can hear, things are really, I want to change. And I know that the only way to do it really is from the inside out. And so again, what I'm doing here is just seeing if I can put myself out. But as I talk about the details, I see that it's not the real me. I see that it's just me talking about my life. And so if I move into this mode of, oh yeah, this freedom mode where I'm actually putting myself out there, all I want to do is smile and be happy, and it's like there's nothing definite, and I feel like the whole world is open, but I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, it's like I don't know how giving my true self, being my real self that you can kind of see right now, this happier, more sincere, more kind self, I don't know how to put that self in the world. I don't know what to do, but I do know what it feels like. And so my experiment is this. Whenever I can remember, whenever I can feel it, when I'm out in the world, when I'm interacting with people, talking to anyone, when I'm adjusting people at my office, to come into that kind of energy where I'm open and I'm my real self. So this is what did I call it? The Inner Freedom Project. And we could call it the Real Me Project because I want to be real with the world. I want to allow myself to be the real me, all the different parts of me. I'm really interested in singing and playing guitar. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see, and maybe there's a link right here I'll stick. But you'll see if you watch my songs, there's a certain amount of contraction, like just not letting it out. And maybe if you watch them from the first ones I posted until the ones I've posted now, maybe there's some sort of difference, like I'm actually starting to get more free and more open. But man, let's see what happens if I can live from the inside out. If I can let myself be this true, open, wide self and let it go, because I was always afraid. I always thought I had to have it all together and be tough and be some sort of a badass, be really strong and know everything. And so this real me that I can feel in there, that if I really let it out, doesn't really know, as a very beginner's mind, it's everything that I've not been trying to be. It's everything that I've been moving myself away from all my life. Showing any sort of weakness or openness. But it's this big paradox, because I can actually be so much more abundant probably when I get open. Connecting with people has been difficult for me over time because I've always been trying to be perfect. I've never shown much weakness to people. And so let's see what happens when I'm like this with people. When I'm more open and more wide, I feel like smiling when I'm doing it, and I'm totally stepping out on a limb here. I feel kind of nervous about it, but I feel excited as long as I step into that space. So my experiment again is this. I'm just going to step into this kind of energy in my life whenever I can remember, not be too hard on myself if I forget, because I can always make the choice to step back into it. If I can make this my habit, if I can make this where I come from as a person, and I don't have to think about it and get there. Like right now, I'm kind of like really focused to get there, and I have to keep returning to it. And like right now, I just stepped more into it like that, and you can probably feel some sort of difference. Man, I'm like this bubbly person who kind of like makes me think of a ditzy blonde or something. Exactly what I never wanted to be, which, by the way, I've always been attracted to in women, probably because I've been rejecting it in myself. So, you know, every time I come back to it, I get more giggly and bubbly, and then like I start talking about something more contextual, more factual, and then I can feel that it's not quite there. And so, whenever I remember it, I want to come back to it and just let myself be the real me. So there's the experiment. I'll try to keep these down to about 10 minutes for myself and for anybody who wants to watch. Who knows if anyone ever sees this? But the fact is, I'm putting it out so that it's just practice. I'm letting myself be real out there in the world. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks, and we'll see what happens, man. Okay, that's all there is to say. Peace and love. Peace and love. Bye bye.